Questions for Khris? Let's start with Zora.
Hey, Khris, Giannis just kind of detailed how you all won each of these games in different ways and how that gets him excited. What do you think about the fact that you all were able to get it done in a variety of ways throughout a series?
And that's just what the playoffs are about. Got to find different ways to win ball games. And I think when you have a team as talented as we do, you can change up your style. You can change up the pace of the game and still find a way to execute.
And coming into this series, you all talked about the fact that it probably wouldn't be about X's and O's, and it would just be about winning plays and playing tough basketball. Do you think this lived up to that, or do you think it ended up being about something else?
I think it was that. When you look back on the series, we definitely controlled the boards, which was a huge part of getting our in transition and giving us second chance points. Everybody was huge. The guards, Tuck, Giannis, Drew, Brooke, everybody had a part, controlling the boards for us and able to limit them to one shot. And like I said, for us to get out on the break.
Lastly, I know you came into this one and you were like, okay, it's a different team, different series. Everybody's asking you about last season, but I know you don't forget at the same time. So what does it mean to be able to sweep a team, given the fact that they did eliminate you all a year ago?
It's good. But it's just a start. We got a long road ahead of us. This is just a start of what we want to do, what we want to accomplish. It may not be as pretty or, whatever going forward, but we just have to, continue to grind and stay with it.
Jim Wozarski.
Hey, Khris, to follow up on Zora's first question, where you mentioned the change of styles, that's kind of what the plan was, right? I remember talking to you guys back in December. It was about getting ready for the playoffs and being able to throw punches, counterpunch. Is that, I would imagine that's got to be a nice feeling, right? That you were able to kind of display in these first four games what you'd been working through the last 72 plus.
Yeah. Like I said, we want to be playing our best basketball right now, and we're trending that way to be able to, execute a defensive game plan, get stops, and then if our fast break is in there, if the mismatches aren't there, to be able to run our sets and execute the way we did, it's great. The way we're able to change styles of the ball, penetrate, look for layups, dunks, and then kick out threes. It's perfect.
Regarding this afternoon's game, Bryn said there was never really a point where even down 12 and maybe things offensively weren't going as smoothly. There was never a point of panic or feeling like you needed to press the issue. So how important was that, I guess, to kind of stay level and keep at the pace you were in, I guess, to kind of reel Miami back in?
It was key for us, definitely, especially on the road in a hostile environment. I would say Brent, he did an amazing job of just keeping us within striking distance. We had a lot of big threes, big shots for us in that first half, and it continued in the second half. But we just told ourselves to stay in the ball game. Shots are going to go down at some point. We just got to get the game under control, get stops. It's just, knock down shots. I think that's what it was in the first half. We had a lot of open looks. We just didn't make them at first.
Eric Name.
After game one, there's some people thinking like the adjustment should be defensively to, change the way that you're handing dribble handoffs, have someone else cover Duncan Robinson. Like, what did you think of your ability and kind of to flip it as the series goes on? Like 2, 3, 4, they didn't hurt you as bad in those. You were able to get through stuff a little bit better. Just like, what was your kind of mindset as the series went on?
First, he's a hell of a player, hell of a shooter, whereas you just can't leave him any type of space. You just got to make him as comfortable as he can, because once he puts that ball up in the air, more times than not, it's going in. So for me, it was just trying to, just stay connected to him off the ball, coming off screens, trying to be physical with him so he can get a clean look. Just knowing that if he tries, my teammate's going to be there. I just got to, continue to get back into play.
PJ had said that you guys are dogs. Like that's what your mindset is this year. That's who you guys are. Like that's just what your kind of attitude is going to be. Have you felt a change from like other years? Like, do you feel like you have more dogs on the roster this year? Like you guys can really are ready to go here in the postseason?
For sure. I mean, PJ, Bobby, Brent, they all bring different styles of toughness to our group. They had plenty off the bench that we've seen, this back half of the season with some of the guys that with Tuck that joined us late. We've seen it from Bobby and Brendan the whole year long. But in the playoffs, they raised to the occasion so far and just, telling us to keep going, keep grinding it out. Don't worry about none of the other stuff out there. Just worry about, winning possessions, diving, and getting dirty. Not physically dirty, but, just grinding it out basically.
And then I guess today Dragic kind of got twisted up with you. Just what were you thinking as that was going down? I know you laughed it off afterwards, but just kind of what were you thinking?
No, I didn't like it at all. I thought there was a dirty play. I think it was game 1 or 2 there at home where he fell on my leg and tried to say I fouled him. It was kind of the same incident again. But at that time, just know some things are more important than a personal battle. So just don't worry about it, laugh it off, and continue to worry about the game.
Vinny Goodwill.
Hey, Khris, I know this is a first round series and last year in the bubble is a totally different situation, but mentally, was this a hurdle that you guys felt like you had to get over, with this team in this manner, especially when you saw some of the altercations that happened that could have, changed how you guys approach these games?
Nah, honestly, can you say that question one more time?
No, just was this a hurdle you felt like you had to get over mentally, just because of everything that's happened in the past year or so?
Yeah, it's past. I mean, I think I've been in the playoffs maybe 6 times, haven't won a championship yet, but got to the finals. So each year, you try to find some type of experience, learn from it. But you don't bring, the past about losing as a revenge or whatever. You learn from it. You work on it during the summertime, and you move on. So I wouldn't say this series had anything to do with last year at all. I mean, credit them; they were the better team last year. This year, I feel like we were the better team this year.
And lastly, as a second round series, the potential of you guys playing the Brooklyn Nets and all their firepower, you guys had a couple of really competitive games with them. How much forward or how excited are you looking forward to that possibility in the next week or so?
Brooklyn or Boston. I think we're excited for whoever we're matched up with to play in the second round and still have a chance to advance. That's what it's all about. Wherever we play, both teams have a lot of firepower, but they're definitely exciting, but also a great opportunity for us.
Thanks, Khris.
Thanks.